A man once lost his job because of a careless tweet, fired before he even finished his lunch. Another went viral for yelling at a barista, his face broadcast across social media by dinner time. By the time he issued an apology, it was too late. The court of public opinion had already decided his fate. In a world where every phone is a camera and every stranger could be your audience, the margin for error is razor thin. One misstep in public can undo years of effort, reputation, or power. Niccolò Machiavelli, no stranger to the brutal realities of public life, once warned that perception is everything. To lead, to survive, to thrive, one must always appear composed, controlled, and competent. A single slip, even if momentary, invites doubt, ridicule, or worse. This isn't a list about manners. It's about strategy. Because in the theater of public life, only the fool forgets the audience is always watching. Vulnerability has a time and place. The street, the cafe, or the break room is not it. Machiavelli wrote that a ruler must appear virtuous, even if he is not. Why? Because people believe what they see. If you constantly talk about your depression, your breakup, your failures, your chaos, you're branding yourself with weakness. Even those who nod sympathetically are filing your instability away in the vault of their minds. This doesn't mean bottling up your emotions forever, but in public, always project control. The one who vents loudly in the office becomes dramatic. The one who sobs in public becomes fragile. Even if your pain is real, the world rarely knows what to do with it, other than weaponize it or turn it into gossip. Machiavelli would warn, control the narrative, or the narrative controls you. Revenge, when served in public, rarely tastes the way you think it will. It may feel satisfying to call someone out, correct their ignorance in front of a crowd, or clap back at a rude comment with devastating flair. But Machiavelli cautioned rulers against humiliating others too publicly, because humiliated people don't forget. They plot, they build alliances, they wait. When you publicly shame someone, even justly, you create a new enemy. Worse, onlookers start asking who will be next. You think you're asserting dominance? What they see is cruelty. Instead, correct quietly. Dismantle strategically. Take your revenge in private or cloak it in professionalism. As Machiavelli would say, it is better to be feared than loved. Yes, but never hated. 3. Never reveal your ambition. Too loudly, public declarations of big dreams sound impressive, until they start sounding like threats. Ambition is a weapon. Wielded correctly, it's admired. Flaunted too boldly, it becomes dangerous. Your colleagues, your peers, even your friends might applaud your drive to take over or be the best. But make no mistake, they're also taking notes. The more clearly you signal your plans, the more people will organize quietly against you. You'll find subtle roadblocks, surprising betrayals, and opportunities suddenly drying up. Why? Because people fear being overshadowed, and they preemptively defend their place. Machiavelli would whisper, "If you intend to rise, smile more than you speak." A moment of fury undoes a year of poise. We've all witnessed it. Someone explodes in line at the bank, shouts in a meeting, or slams a door in a fit of rage. And what do we all think? Unstable, volatile, untrustworthy. Even if they were right. Machiavelli's prince knew when to express anger and when to fake calm. He knew that public rage is like public nudity, impossible to forget, even after apologies are made. The world judges your reactions more than your reasons. If you're provoked, smile. If you're insulted, deflect. Let your enemies underestimate you, thinking you are calm and harmless. Then act. As Machiavelli warned, he who lets his emotions lead will soon be led by others. Alcohol is the great unmasker, and often the great undoing. It's in the photos, the shaky speech, the laughter that turns into weeping, the slurred words that reveal too much. Machiavelli would scoff at the idea of letting wine dictate one's tongue. Why? Because once control is lost, your reputation is no longer yours. Everyone remembers the person who got wasted at the company party. Everyone watches the friend who drinks too much and says just a little too much. No one forgets it. And in a world driven by perception, you may have just rewritten your own legacy. If you must indulge, do it in private or among the trusted. Public disorder suggests private chaos, and chaos, Machiavelli would remind us, invites enemies to strike. The moment you take a personal disagreement and drag it into the public square, whether that's a group chat, social media post, or dinner party, you've shifted from resolving to performing. You may win the argument, but you lose something far more valuable: discretion. Machiavelli would tell you that power lies not just in being right, but in knowing when to stay silent. Taking conflict public signals a loss of control. It tells people that your emotions rule you, that you air dirty laundry, that your loyalty is conditional. Keep personal conflicts in private spaces where tone, nuance, and resolution are possible. In public, people are not looking to mediate, they're looking to judge. Laughter is powerful, but it must be used carefully. The temptation to be the center of attention is strong. One good joke leads to another, and suddenly you're the life of the party. But if your humor comes at someone else's expense, or if it overshadows others in power, it can quickly backfire. Machiavelli knew the court jester was never the one who truly ruled, and those who laugh too loudly often forget who is watching and who is quietly losing respect. Humor, when overused, becomes a mask for insecurity. Used well, it's disarming. Used poorly, it's destructive. Never let the need for laughs outweigh the need for respect. Few things are more dangerous than public arrogance. The moment you speak with false confidence, assume knowledge you don't have, or try to dominate a conversation with bluster, you risk exposure. And when you're exposed as ignorant, the damage is far greater than if you had simply admitted what you didn't know. Machiavelli valued strategy over ego. He would advise, say less, ask more, listen deeply. People trust those who are measured, not those who speak endlessly. Better to be underestimated than caught in a lie. One of the most Machiavellian moves of all is this: silence. In a world obsessed with noise, commentary, and constant expression, the one who chooses restraint commands attention without effort. Silence unsettles people. It forces them to fill in the blanks, to guess at your thoughts, to overestimate your knowledge or your power. You say less, but they hear more. While others scramble to be heard, the silent one becomes a mirror, reflecting their insecurities, ambitions, or fears back at them. In public, this restraint is a weapon. It can diffuse conflict, obscure weakness, and create an aura of calm control. Silence is not cowardice. It is deliberate. It says, I do not need to prove myself to you. Machiavelli would call it the most strategic mask of all: unreadable, unshakable, untouchable. Because in the theater of power, silence is not absence. It's dominance wrapped in stillness. Always remember that you are always being watched. Machiavelli's world may have lacked smartphones and viral tweets, but his insights remain chillingly relevant. Power is perception, influence is theater, and in public, even your smallest actions are part of your script. The rules above aren't just etiquette, they are shields. They help you preserve dignity, protect reputation, and maintain leverage in a world that is quick to judge and slow to forgive. The modern arena is brutal, but those who understand the performance, who know when to speak, when to smile, and when to walk away, those are the ones who rise. So remember Machiavelli's enduring lesson. Never confuse authenticity with vulnerability, and never forget that in public, everything is political.